888-203-5355. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning.
How are you? Doing okay?
Doing well. Doing
okay.
well.
Darlene is on the line with a question. Good morning, Darlene.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your question?
Well, my question is, as far as career hunt and I guess making changes in jobs, what are some good ways of going about doing it? I've tried the the Goodwill Industries. I've tried job hunting at Raleigh Street here in Greensboro. I've filled out numerous applications, the job fairs, and I'm looking for administrative work. I've got over 20 years experience, but the only thing that I'm getting is a lot of regret, not very many interviews, but I'm looking at the biggest problem is the fact that I don't speak Spanish, and that's really, I can't believe that. That is coming down to that now.
Yeah, who would have thought that 20 years ago? But in this market specifically, bilingual skills are in great demand. In terms of how to find a job, it sounds like the kind of work that you're pursuing, there are a lot of employment agencies that might place people in those jobs, so that would be one thing I would do. Another thing I'd do is if there are companies nearby your home that would employ somebody with your skills, go talk to them. Tell them, I'm interested in working for you. Now they have a face instead of just a resume. Show initiative in that regard. It sounds like a lot of what you've been doing is chasing after openings as you see them. And when you do that, you're one of many people, and unless you've got something very unique like being bilingual or whatever, the odds of success are diminished a little bit, really. That's a tough thing, and I run into that a lot in my line of work.
Instead of getting your foot in the door, you got to open the door.
You bet.
Get that first foot in there.
Yeah, you bet.
Like you said,
show initiative. The biggest single thing that people can bring to the table is enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. I don't care what it is you do in life. If you don't care about it,
one-on-one instead of through a resume.
You bet. Enthusiasm on a piece of paper is very hard to see, but you can sense it and see it when you're face to face.
There you go. Stephanie is on the line. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. What's your question?
Yes, sir. On my resume, I worked manufacturing for 30 years.
Yes.
And I've been back to school, and I do have a couple of certificates.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have some rather large non-working time on my resume.
Sure.
And I was wondering how to go about, taking care of that, because employers look at that, and it doesn't look good.
And that's a case where you might want to go away from a chronological resume where you show the dates of employment and instead look at a skills resume, talking about whatever those skills might be, project management, marketing, communications, administrative, whatever those skills would be in your line of work. That may be a way around that to sort of smooth over, at least on paper, the gaps. And then when you get face-to-face, you'll have to address that, or on the application, you'll have to account for your time. And then you can talk about raising a family, talking about whatever that would have accounted for those gaps.
Amy's on the line in High Point. Good morning, Amy.
Hey.
Hi,
I'm 16, and I don't really have any experience in anything, and I can't find anything.
Just talk to one of our sons.
I did
he's in school also.
And I did car detailing, and it's not working.
At your age, you don't have a high school diploma. You obviously don't have a college degree. At that point, you're really enthusiasm, and that's about what you've got to sell, that and being dependable. I would look to people that your parents know, that your neighbors know, and say, look, we've got a kid that needs a break, part-time job, whatever. You're all at the starting line. You're starting from ground zero right now. It's not as though you're Brad that's been here for years and has built a niche in an industry. You're starting from scratch. You can go anywhere, do anything. Just put me in, coach, and I just want to get some experience. So I would go through people who my folks know or my neighbors know, or people at church, or people if you're in clubs in school. Talk to your guidance counselor, talk to people that you deal with in your social life, and just ask around, because your friends have jobs, and maybe ask them how they got their job, and just follow in their footsteps.
It's the basic form of networking.
It is, yeah. And at that level, there's not as much. hate to use the word skill involved in that, but there really isn't. It's just put me in,
ask
coach.
the people.
That's the way to do it.
Kay is on the line with a question. Good morning, Kay.
Good morning.
Okay.
Yes, how does an 18-year-old that's still in school with doesn't have a high school diploma find a job? He's been looking and nobody will hire him.
Similar to the last question.
It really is. The same rules apply. I think you just need to jump right in there and do the same things that I mentioned earlier. At age 18, no different really from 16. Same thing.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
You mentioned resumes. If people want to find formats, instead of a chronological resume, go into a skills resume, any websites or anything that have some good tips on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got obviously Monster.com is the big Goliath out there, and they've got different templates. You can go online and find them. You can talk to somebody like me.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, but what you want to do is have other people look at it and have them critique it too.
Okay, if you want to reach Randy, his website, woodengroup.com, woodengroup.com. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Shannon?